Shawn Michaels returned to the ring for one more match at WWE Crown Jewel, and he didn't do it on the cheap. Because why would he have done? That would have made no sense. Fans can argue the ins and outs of HBK giving up retirement for a quick buck last November, but that's really none of our business. Michaels can do whatever it is that he wants to do, and if The Undertaker is alright with that, which you have to assume he is, why the hell not? But yes, wrestling his first match in over 8 years at a stadium show did not come at a budget price. His tag match with Triple H against the Brothers of Destruction would have had an incredible salary attached to it, and he would have put that away for only one night's work. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and this is 8 incredible WWE paydays you won't believe. Number 8, The Ultimate Warrior gets $500,000 for WWE SummerSlam 1991. There are two versions of the event that took place backstage at Madison Square Garden ahead of Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan's SummerSlam 1991 main event against the Triangle of Terror. One is what came from the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, which was controversial to say the least, and the other is what many people believe to be the truth. Within this DVD, though, Vince McMahon references the incident and paints it as a situation where Warrior was figuratively holding a gun to his head over a one-off payment. Sergeant Slaughter later revealed the sum amounted to $500,000, which is pretty good for one day's work. McMahon was apparently furious over this holdup, but the other side of this is that it was actually what Warrior was owed. Decades later, correspondence between the two revealed that Vince had promised the figure along with other demands dished out by the Warrior that brought him in line with Hulk Hogan's crazy earnings. The Ultimate One pocketed a small fortune that August night, but remarkably, it was all agreed beforehand, or so it would seem. Number 7, Floyd Mayweather gets $2 million for WWE WrestleMania 24. Rumors of the payout Floyd Money Mayweather was set to pick up for his WrestleMania 24 match against The Big Show went as high as $20 million. Can you imagine? The Wrestling Observer cleared things up a little by shrinking that number to $2 million, which also had extras after the fact. This is still ridiculous given his match lasted, 10 minutes? It was more evidence that the world and wrestling saw Floyd as a major draw, and WWE's corporate financial reports later said WrestleMania 24 flooded company accounts with an extra $23.8 million in revenue from pay-per-view buys alone. You've got to imagine Mayweather was a part of that, as individuals wanted to see what happened when the Boxer stepped into the ring with a giant. It was alright as well. No one thought that at the time. Number 6, Mike Tyson gets $3.5 million for WWE WrestleMania 14. For as much money as WWE paid Floyd Mayweather, it was a cut price from what they paid the one and only Mike Tyson a decade earlier. The baddest man on the planet was given $3.5 million for his WrestleMania enforcer spot, as well as a few appearances between January and March to build to the match itself. He was, of course, ultimately worth every single penny. Whether intentional or not, the company had latched on to the one celebrity most associated with the brave new direction they were plowing forward with on TV. Controversy littered Tyson's past and relative presence, just as it did Vince McMahon in early 1998. His relationship with Stone Cold Steve Austin ticked every box imaginable to pique the fans' interest, even if Mike would ruin it a little bit every time he called the rattlesnake Cold Stone. That didn't just happen once either, which makes no sense. Number 5, David Arquette gets $1 million for WCW Slamboree 2000. When David Arquette was brought in for a cameo in WCW, it was meant to be just that. Another way to get eyes on the product as they looked to see what exactly the Hollywood actor would do. Then Vince Russo decided he should become the world champion, and not even Arquette himself could convince him otherwise. That is ridiculous. Already struggling in 2000, WCW threw more money at the problem, hoping the Scream star could help turn things around. Coming in for around $1 million, David did indeed win the title on Thunder and have a pay-per-view defense against DDP and Jeff Jarrett. That Slamboree 2000 main event was so ludicrous as well, with weapons-filled cages stacked atop of each other in an effort to pretend the WCW Championship wasn't in the toilet. The exact fee Arquette earned wasn't revealed, but the man proved what a good dude he was when he donated the figure to the families of deceased wrestlers Owen Hart, Brian Pillman, and Bobby Duncan Jr. That is respect and then some. Number 4, Miss Elizabeth gets $50,000 for WWF SummerSlam 91. On the surface, $50,000 doesn't seem like a hellhole of a lot given the other figures we've already thrown out. Also, Miss Elizabeth was a big star in her prime, and she played a major role in the headline attraction of SummerSlam 91. A wedding to Randy Savage had fans in tears from beginning to end. What's interesting is that Liz was paid more than 4 future WWE Hall of Famers on that show. The SummerSlam 91 payoff sheet makes for fascinating reading. Elizabeth's salary was more than the $20,000 for Mr. Perfect, the $17,500 for Bret Hart, the $5,000 dished out to The Undertaker, and the modest $2,000 Shawn Michaels earned that night. Add those figures together, and they amount to just $44,500. So Liz was a winner on this evening, and she didn't even have to take a bump. Number 3, Jeff Jarrett gets $500,000 for No Mercy 1999. When Jeff Jarrett insisted on a payout of $500,000 in order to go out and lose his plan to China at No Mercy 1999, he believed he was in the right to do so. The story has often been presented as if Double J was on the take, holding up the IC title 24 hours before jumping to WCW due to WWE not realizing that his contract had lapsed. The 2018 Hall of Famer has protested that version of events. He believed he was owed the figure in back pay and was determined to pocket it before he left because he was going to the enemy. McMahon agreed, and Jarrett went all in, putting China over in a brawl far better than anyone thought it would be. In hindsight, it wasn't the best career move, as WCW would be out of business within 2 years, and all this fracas meant he was persona non grata where McMahon was concerned. Jarrett would go on to start TNA, creating, at least for a little while, the number 2 promotion in the good old US of A. Number 2, Dennis Rodman gets $1.1 million for WCW Road Wild 99. WCW's relentless pursuit to knock WWE off its lofty perch would end up costing them big. Why? Because Eric Bischoff kept throwing WCW cash at celebrities who wanted to play wrestler. NBA star Dennis Rodman was one of the most prominent of these. Working 2 matches and appearing on 3 pay-per-views in 1998, he teamed with Hulk Hogan to face Lex Luger and the Giant at Bash at the Beach, struck Luger with a baseball bat at Road Wild, then teamed up with Hogan again opposite DDP and Karl Malone at another Bash at the Beach. Rodman was raking it in for these appearances, but they paled in comparison to his earnings for 1999. Then an LA Laker, the unpredictable basketball player wrestled Randy Savage at Road Wild in Sturgis, where he pocketed $1.1 million for just 1 match. Don't forget too, that Sturgis was the biker rally where no one paid to watch the event. And we all wonder why WCW went out of business. Number 1, Brock Lesnar gets $600,000 for a Monday Night Raw appearance and the Greatest Royal Rumble. The Beast allegedly sorted himself a deal where he earned $500,000 for every pay-per-view appearance and $100,000 every time he turned up on television. That is amazing. Showing how much McMahon thinks of Brock Lesnar and how much Lesnar thinks about money, all the questions that sat in the ether after WrestleMania 34 were soon answered when rumours of this new short-term contract got out into the public, leaving most of us in awe. Could it be in the millions? Potentially, but we shall have to wait and see. But in 2018, make no mistake about it, Brock Lesnar has made a lot of money from professional wrestling.